Stewart Fournier, Stewart, last name Fournier. My gosh, it's really a very lengthy story, given that my first recollection of Manhattan Beach was being on the Strand at age 8 in the mid-60s. Little did I know that a mere 10 years later, I'd be serving pizza on the pier when I was 18 years old. And about 2 years later, actually moved to Manhattan Beach, and I've been here for 46 years. So I've been a realtor for 23 years. Prior to that, I owned a courier messenger company for 20 years. So I've been working for 43 years. I can do math. The top 2 or 3 things I most love about living here are the obvious. Weather's number 1, the people are number 2, and number 3 is the future. I mean, there really is no limit to the future that Manhattan Beach will experience because there's just so many terrific variables in town. And I've watched all these variables, take a major role over the course of the last 46 years. And there doesn't seem to be an end to it. It's really a terrific town. One of the most sort of surprising things that I learned while I was running for office was a sense of what you know, and what I know about Manhattan Beach is quite a bit, versus what you can really talk about. Because people's emotions when you knock on their door are right in your face. And sometimes you can't tell them everything you'd like to because you'd be there all day. But it was a fascinating experience. It was a life-changing experience. And although the thought of doing it again is extremely exhausting, it probably would take at least 2 or 3 years to get my psychology up again to do something like that. And this was the first time where national politics took front row and center in the emotional part of people's sense of this election. And that's something we had never seen before, and it was palpable every time I went to the doors. The 3 basic issues, the 3 main issues, 2 of which were really not addressed in the campaign was the Bruce's Beach situation. That was number 1. Number 2 was the zoning aspects and how it related to High Rose. And then the third thing, of course, was safety. So I had 2 basic reactions. One, of course, was like everybody else, and I'm sure the individual patrol officers were on having the same feeling that, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's happening again. But this time, I think the officers were a lot more alert, a lot more ready. I look forward to knowing that this is not, this won't be a constant thing that'll be going on, because the one thing that I've learned about crime in Manhattan Beach is people generalize, which they should, the fact that a crime's been committed. But many, many times, including burglaries, car thefts, and situations like this, it is usually the same people. And once we catch them, it stops. If I had been on the council, I would have definitely voted for more police officers. And I believe that our new police chief, Rachel Johnson, is very astute, very mature, and very aware of what the needs of the city are, even in the short period that she's been here. One thing that I really have enjoyed, because I live in the tree section, is but we have a great new bridge and a walkway right from the Greenbelt into the mall now, and it's just been terrific. Fireworks is the biggest event everyone enjoys. And if you're from Manhattan Beach and you've been here for a while, every time the fireworks ends, you get a little emotional. You really do, because I've seen every fireworks show since the beginning. And so you really appreciate for that one moment when the fireworks are over that you've been a part of this, you're going to continue to be a part of it, and this really is a magical place to live. First of all, I had firsthand knowledge, having gone to Sacramento specifically for this issue, as a planning commissioner 3 to 4 years ago. So my breadth of knowledge about what's surrounded and the facts that surrounded High Rose were very extensive, and it was very difficult for me during the election, which, by the way, didn't really cover the subject matter the way it should have, about what happened with High Rose. Basically, the message is this. So about 10 years ago, the state started putting in laws that basically said, if you defy us, we're going to be coming after you. What we lost, unfortunately, in my opinion, was the ability to work with the builder to to make some changes on that particular project, because I think we're too emotionally charged to address the issue as an education moment for the city, as opposed to a confrontational part of the city. There are people that have been in town for 20 and 30 years that still don't understand this town and the culture and what we're all about. We're a very loving, inviting, and open town. And unfortunately, in the last few years, we haven't been portrayed that way. And that concerns me a great deal. And I hope that that turns around. So the bottom line is, I think we'll have a very slow year comparatively to other years, more so than ever because of the variables with the banking industry right now. But I think we'll get back to normal by the end of the year. But we're not going to see anything like the loss we saw in 2008. It's simply a different market.